it has been long enough. It is time to talk about what it is that is going on with me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, apologies in probably the ratio of what this looks like. I am having to record on my phone because I don't know where my camera is. This Tula primer, honestly, we're not gonna really talk too much about it because I don't really like it. Using the vitamin enriched eye base from Bobbi Brown, and I am putting a generous amount of this into my under eye because I have really dry under eyes, which we'll get to, and I don't want to be looking crusty. Those that know me know for a while I have just been struggling with a lot of different health things, especially after I had gotten COVID. I ended up having COVID like 4 times. And yes, I got the vaccine and stuff. Finally, once we moved to Germany, because in Italy it was pretty gaslighty. Like, it was like, oh, you're just experiencing, you know, stuff because you had a kid, or, you know, la-di-da-di-da. Germany, my PCM finally was like, let's do a blood test. It was the house labs with the KVD locket. Let's fast forward because, like I said, those that have followed my YouTube already kind of know the whole story. I ended up testing positive for what is called an ANA thing, which basically just means an ANA titer, which essentially means that you have some sort of, or could have some sort of autoimmune disease. It sparks the referral to the dermatologist, or oh my gosh, the rheumatologist. Why this is looking so, like, seems like yellow on camera, but I promise you guys, it's not that way. And blender to just really kind of make that more airbrush and absorb some of the shine. Huda Beauty faux filter. Once I went to the rheumatologist, because essentially the symptoms that I felt like I might have had was actually MS, because that's something that kind of runs in my family a little bit. Going to a neurologist. The MRI basically saw that I had a lesion on my brain, as well as I have a cyst in my brain. The neurologist was saying that a lot of it is normal. We don't have MS. The rheumatologist ended up ordering some other specific autoimmune disease tests. However, the neurologist did start to look at some other things that were going on with me, which again, in the end, I will tell you kind of all the prognosis and it all blending together. I also had to go to the ophthalmologist. So I ended up going and seeing the rheumatologist again after I had this latest flare up, which my joints and everything were swollen. Like, I had really just had it just knocked out of me. Like, when I tell you there's no life to me, there is absolutely no life to me. I'm struggling to survive. My eyes hurt so bad. I felt like I could have just ripped them out of my sockets. Like, there was just, it was miserable. Rheumatologist confirmed in my blood test that I have what is called Sjögren's. I feel like people who have lupus and stuff maybe will know about it, because a lot of times I guess it can be like a secondary thing, but I actually am a primary Sjögren's autoimmune disease. And the reason why I didn't want to just like type it out and then I felt like people would just Google and then come to their own conclusions about me, and I wanted to say mine, is because there can be different ways that it presents and it shows. And so I just wanted to kind of like talk about my case in particular. Answering the generic, what is Sjögren's? Essentially, your body is attacking things that produce moisture. So like your eyes, your nose, your mouth are like the heavy hitters of things. When I say dry eye, this isn't just your like, oh, just your generic dry eye, let's just get a little bit of drops and you're okay. No, this is something that can be so severe that literally it dries you out like the Sahara, and your eyelids can literally cause abrasions and things on your eyeballs. That's how much it takes the moisture out. Dry mouth, it can get so dry that literally people will have struggles to even be able to swallow things. That was the LYS contour stick in the color Strength. Taking a powder puff in the Easy Bake and Snatch from Huda Beauty. This is in the color Cinnamon Bun. I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eyes. The Patrick Ta, she's defined. This is the contour, but I kind of use it almost like a bronzer as well. It can affect your organs, especially people will get things like their kidneys, their liver, can make you more susceptible to get lymphoma. Talking about where I'm at in this. I am definitely experiencing the problems with my eyes. I've come to notice when I'm in a flare-up and my eyes are super agitated, I get that cyst in my eyeball, which I've shown. This was the Rare Beauty in Love Honestly, I'm still pretty new to this, obviously, and with this diagnosis, but the more that I keep looking at things, the more I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that things kind of were what they were until now. Biggest complaints overall would be the fatigue. So that's a big thing. It knocks it out of you. Like, the fatigue that you get is unreal. I do a simple task like doing my makeup and then be knocked out for the next 2 days because it could just wipe it out of me like that. Like, it just depends on where I'm at in my body and flares and stuff. Going in with the Pat McGrath blush. I have a bone to pick with this, that I bought this brand new, used it like all of 2 times before it broke like this. Not from dropping on the floor or anything, just crumbled. And it is way too expensive for that. I'm not experiencing, because I feel like that's easier. So they said that my blood and everything when it came to my kidneys, my liver, was looking good. I'm gonna go in with NARS Exhibit A because now that we're going into spring, I just wanna brighten this up a little bit. House Labs, this is her highlighter in chocolate opal. This is so gorgeous. Going back to the neurologist, because this can kind of cross over into some central nervous stuff, because again, what else uses things? Your brain, your spinal cord, again, for lubrication. I am showing early signs of peripheral neuropathy. Essentially, from what I gather, please comment down below if you know, but I'm not about to Google it right now while I'm doing this. Peripheral neuropathy is basically like losing, I feel like, the feeling and kind of the real function in your nerves and stuff dying off in your extremities. That was the other thing that we talked about. So you can have like brain fog and stuff. And I was telling them, I feel so dumb sometimes, or the way that I trip up on my words, I notice will happen kind of with some of that dry mouth. Found out it's literally considered a disability. Like, people could get Social Security and everything from this. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is somebody can look okay on the outside. That does not mean we are okay on the inside. Probably what will always be a trigger to me is if somebody were to tell me you don't look sick. Huda Beauty Empowered eyeshadow palette. I'm just gonna create a sort of nice, sort of not neutral look. Literally don't know if I can put bottom eyeliner. My eyes now seem to be super sensitive, even more so with like makeup and stuff. I'm pretty new to this diagnosis. I'm still learning, but they did get me on medication that we will see if it helps suppressing my immune system. Some of this Laura Mercier translucent powder and just kind of powder on the places that I feel like I want to mute out just a little bit. I'm gonna move on to my lips while my eyelashes are setting. For lip pencil molasses. And then I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Parchment is the color, lip velvet, and then topping it with the honey waffles from Fenty Beauty. If you can imagine, again, just think about so much that your body uses of moisture, and that sort of being under attack or in pain in the flare-ups part of it. Again, that was my life. So when I say my house is a mess because I could not physically get out of bed, really hope that this medication really helps to reduce the flare-ups, because when you're trying to be a mom and trying to be able to participate in life with your kids, obviously this puts a major damper on it when you feel like you can't even shower. There's literally been times, you guys, I've been down on the ground and just like, I can't even wash my own behind. And as somebody who is so into skincare, body care, all of that, it's terrible. I have some sort of silver lining in it. Like, I could either just wallow in the fact that I have an autoimmune disease, or I can just be thankful, which I am, that it got diagnosed. I know what it is. We're on a plan of treatment. I have a fantastic team of specialists, from like the neurologist to the ophthalmologist to rheumatologist to my PCM. I'm just feeling really blessed that I got the diagnosis that I did, can still live a long, healthy life. I just feel like I need to be conscious and obviously watch certain things that I do. I'm not gonna let this take me down. Definitely going to be making sure that I just keep to doing what I'm doing. I don't get a bunch of processed stuff or to make a lot of stuff from scratch. For the many of you, especially my YouTube fam, thank you all so much for your prayers, your messages, your comments, just wishing me well over all of these years and just really sticking it out with me as we came to this conclusion and finding out what was going on. I feel like I'm so hopeful now that I get to just create content. Like I said, I'll probably not push myself too much. That's the biggest thing that I think I've learned. I'm very much so a do it all. That's like a joke where people are like, what don't you do, in terms of when I'm getting ready, I'm getting my kids, I'm cooking from scratch, I'm doing the things. And I'm really going to need to figure out a pace and a routine that fits in my lifestyle, that can be the everyday and not wipe me out. Oh, that was such a bad idea. That was such a bad idea. My eyes. If you guys want to ever know more about it, I'm sure obviously this is going to be a part of my life forever, but I don't want this to also become some, like, it's not going to be like a Sjögren's account, but it is something that is going to be in my life forever. So see you in the next video.